All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy When Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today, yeah, guys, I don't get it. I read your guys' comments, and I get that you guys don't understand why I like AMD. I get it. It makes sense. Right now, this is I'm actually playing on the 4070 Super right now. This is Come Deliverance 2. I'm actually sitting here playing around with this. I'm getting pretty close. You know, I'm getting a 60 FPS experience. I'm on performance DLSS, running at 4K, and the overall image quality of this game is actually looking pretty dang good. It's just, this is one of those games that actually looks pretty decent with DLSS. Yeah, that looks awesome, but I don't think you guys truly understand, okay? I don't get paid by NVIDIA. I don't get paid by AMD. Nobody sends me free graphics cards. I get to buy them myself. I fell for the hype that all of you guys brought to the channel in the beginning, and I fell for the hype of watching all the big YouTubers and everybody else always sitting there telling me that, yeah, man, NVIDIA is the best. I mean, think about it this way, okay, guys? I'm not trying to call anybody out or anything like that. I don't even care, man. We're all influencers. I get free stuff from other people. I don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is. They send you stuff. They want you to cover it. They want you to show it to your community, whatever. But for you guys to come here and literally tell me that I'm biased about AMD, while literally not even acknowledging that every one of them dudes that got free 5090s already, think about this, you can't even go buy a 5090. You can't even go buy a 5080 today, even if you tried. There's just none on the shelves. So let's look at this, okay? If NVIDIA would have sent me a 5090 and a 5080 and been like, oh yeah, we review this product, right when I found out that nobody else could buy one, I would quit making content on it. I'd be like, what's the point? There's no point in making content on it. Nobody can buy it. So what do these guys do? They sit and make content every day, getting you hyped because you're sitting there watching it. And the more you watch their content, the more you want it. It's a psychological thing. It works on all of us. It works on me. It works on you. It literally works so freaking well. You got to understand, these guys have AI at their disposal. They can find ways to literally freaking manipulate the shit out of us using artificial intelligence. Oh my gosh, and you saps buy it up. Dude, you're like, I'm watching videos, the DLSS. And it's like, dude, you know what, man? It's a fucking upscaler. Seriously, it's literally, I'm using a 4070 Super right now, okay? This is a 1080p GPU due to the fact that it's limited by VRAM to 12 gigs. I know that. I accept that. I got a 1080p monitor. It does pretty decent at 1440p too, but if you want to play something really hard and heavy at 1440p, you're going to need more than 12 gigs of VRAM. So when you look at that, when you see that, and I'm sitting here and I've got this on a 4K display. Right now, I am stretching this, utilizing DLSS so that it looks good on my 4K monitor, okay? Now this looks good. This really does look good, and it is a selling feature. But look at how much this GPU costs. It's $550. Well, how much does a 1080p GPU used to cost you guys? What, 200 bucks? 250? NVIDIA has found a way to double the cost of a 1080p GPU and still give you the illusion that you are a 4K gamer. I'm literally upscaling this from what is performance at DLSS now? Isn't it 1080p or something like that? I'm literally upscaling from 1080p to 4K. I'm playing at 1080p at 1080p frame rates. This card would give me a little bit better than 60 frames a second. I think it was 80 or 90 frames a second on my 1080p monitor. That's what you guys don't understand, and it frustrates me that you guys will come here and tell me oh man, I'm not spending more than $500 for an AMD GPU because they're just trash. Once I switched over to AMD, my friends, I was like, holy shit, dude, you mean I can pay $800 for this GPU, I can run it at 4K, and it does a really good job all on its own at 4K, and then if I turn on FSR to quality, then I get a quality image at 4K or above 60 frames a second for $800. Okay, because I paid like, what was it, $869 after tax for the 7900 XT. And that was in the 4070 Super. Actually, this is a $600 card. 4070 Super is a $600 card. I paid $240 more for that, or $260 more for the other card. And that card actually will run games natively at 4K. Like this 4070 Super will struggle to do that on a lot of games, where that 7900 XT will blow right through them. And then NVIDIA has found a way to invent a feature or bring a feature to their GPUs and then lock them behind their proprietary stuff like Apple does. Their ray tracing is locked behind a proprietary method of creating it and making it run more efficiently on an NVIDIA GPU than it would run on any other GPU. And so then NVIDIA gets wins because its ray tracing is better, when in fact, most of the time, unless you're buying a top-end card, you can't even use that feature anyways, unless you're willing to go down to the 1080p, the most disgusting thing on earth. You see where I'm going with this, guys? I don't get it. Like, I get that you like NVIDIA, they're the best, blah, blah, blah. Dude, they have some incredible marketing. Like, man, I was sitting here FOMOing so damn bad for a 5080, and the card is 8% better than my 7900 XTX, which is an absolute monster of a GPU. Like, I've gotten so far out of touch with gamers that are on lower budgets, because I'm sitting here crying about it, not even crying, but like making content, being like snooty and stuff on a 7900 XTX. And dude, I'm like part of the 1% with this GPU. Like part of the 1%, part of the 2% in the very top that's buying top end stuff. So yeah, I bought a 4070 Super so that I could bring myself back down to where the gamers are, because at the end of the day, that is what matters most, is the games. Like, I love playing games. Dude, man, this game right here is my most anticipated game this year, and I'm absolutely enjoying it. Like, I am floored at just how dang good it is. And I get to play that. And I can play it on a 4070 Super. It's optimized, it runs well. I can turn on DLSS and I can enjoy a 4K experience. Or I can play it on this 1440p monitor and enjoy a 1440p experience. Or on my ultra wide. You see where I'm going with this? I can run it on a 1080p at a higher frame rate. And guess what? It looks fantastic on every single one of those displays. Now, what NVIDIA does is basically they've shown their disdain for gamers for a long time now. Like, they hate us. They literally freaking hate gamers. Their answer is, hey, you know what? Let's cut these cards down more and just give them more AI to upscale everything. And you can't say that's not true, because it is. If AMD successfully launches a 9070 XT with 16 gigs of VRAM with 4080 super power, better ray tracing, and AI upscaling, that card, if they launch it for like $500 or $600, that's a monster. That is an absolute freaking, like, wow. That is re-establishing what a mid-range GPU should be priced at with that type of power, especially coming from all the prices that we paid over the last 4 years. When you look at, you know, cards like the 3080 10 gig jumping from $600-700 all the way up to $1,000+ like. It's crazy, my friends. Most of the higher end cards for NVIDIA are absolutely aimed at AI. You got 32 gigs of RAM on a 5090. That's an AI card. Like, when are you ever going to need 32 gigs of RAM for a game? Probably not for a while. You're not going to need that. And now that we have direct storage APIs, like with Spider-Man 2, where you can literally run right from the SSD to your GPU and process everything right there. You know, in theory, that should kind of help with having to store as much on your VRAM. So it should cut back. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, it shouldn't have to store as much. It should be direct right there, so you shouldn't be running out of VRAM. Like, that could potentially help in the long run with the low VRAM cards from NVIDIA. But right now, man, they give you VRAM starved cards. They bring out new features like neural rendering that... What do we got? One game? We got one game. We got Alan Wake 2. We got Alan Wake 2. We got Alan Wake 2. That's it. And nobody bought it. And you didn't even buy it. Why? Because it's on the Epic Game Store. So, well, like, what are you going to do? Like, how do you get around this stuff, man? But then you guys have the nerve, like that's what I don't get. You have the nerve to call me an AMD fanboy when I'm simply just doing what all the other YouTubers do to AMD. They come out and they praise NVIDIA while kicking AMD every step of the way. Every time they turn around, well, DLSS is better. It makes, you know what, guys, you want the honest truth from an actual gamer that plays on both, that has NVIDIA, that has AMD. The difference between FSR 3.1 and DLSS, like 99.9% of the time while you're playing the game, you're not going to notice it. Digital Foundry literally has to zoom in 500% to show you a difference. 500%. And I showed you guys that on a video that I'm uploading right now. 500%. They got to zoom in. When FSR4 comes out, they're going to need to zoom in 1000% to show you a damn difference. And you guys are still going to fanatically believe that NVIDIA is the best. I'm a simple freaking dude. I just love playing video games. Why would I lie to you? Seriously, neither one of these companies pay me any money. I've spent my own money on every single piece of hardware that I've bought for this channel. Why would I lie to you, man? Like, the experience is so freaking close. It's not even funny. Like, it's not even funny. And unless you're buying high-end cards, this is mainly for you guys that just can't afford to really push more than like $200-300 for a GPU. If you can't afford more than that, my friends, do not even worry about NVIDIA. Like, I know that the name brand, and you're gonna feel like you're missing something, and it just like, it's so alluring. Like, I get it, bro. Like, I fall for it every stupid generation, man. I'm human, bro. Like, I fall for the marketing too. I see the flashy, pretty visuals, and like the DLSS4 and the neural rendering and all that shit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I gotta have that. I fall for it too, every single time. But if you don't have the money to buy high-end NVIDIA GPUs, and I mean this with all the sincerity in the world, get an AMD GPU. You're going to get more bang for your buck. It's going to last longer, and I guarantee you're going to be happy. You're going to look at that thing. You're going to pop it on. I guarantee it, because you're going to throw it on. You're going to get in there. You're going to start playing. And none of that shit's going to matter. None of that shit's going to matter. You're going to be in your game. You're going to be enjoying the shit out of that. You're going to be able to do more with your card. And it's going to be an extremely fun experience. Like, seriously. And so every time I sit here and I read your guys' comments, okay, this is no bullshit, man. Like, when I'm sitting here and I read your guys' comments, and I hear the same talking points over and over and over and over again from so many different names, I'm like, what are you guys even saying? Can you guys even form your own opinion? Are you even capable of that? And I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just asking you a simple question, because literally you're saying the same thing that everybody else is saying, literally verbatim. And I'm just wondering to myself, I'm like, are you guys sheep, or can you actually form your own opinion? Like, most of the shit you guys say is stuff that I've heard other content creators say when they are taking pot shots at AMD. And as somebody that actively uses AMD and has been now for the last 19 months as my daily driver, I can tell you that most of the shit that you're spouting is just not correct. It's not correct. And it sucks that, like, there's just so few of us AMD content creators that we get bombarded hardcore by the NVIDIA fanboys that just come by and they spout nonsense. And it's stupid. I guarantee that the average regular freaking gamer would buy an AMD GPU and probably couldn't even tell the damn difference if he was running NVIDIA or running AMD. I mean, once you like look at them side by side, or you've used both, then you'll be able to know. Like, you'll be able to know, like, right when you boot up an AMD GPU, the color science is just better. It just looks different. Like, you literally got to jump through a lot of hoops to try to even get NVIDIA close. And I know, you know, you got to do this and that and jump through this hoop, and the stars got to line up right. And like, no, dude, it shouldn't be like that. You know what you got to do? You open up Adrenaline software on AMD. You go over to the settings tab. It's a little freaking cog. You press that. You go over to display. You drop down, and you go down, and you're like, oh, color. Boop, turn it on. Then you go down, and you adjust your slider just a little bit, and it looks fabulous. And then you go over, and you can adjust your bit rate, everything. everything. It's all right there. It's really simple, really easy to find. Nothing. No stars have got to line up. You just get to push some buttons, scroll through a little thing. Yeah, dude, it's pretty simple. On NVIDIA, man, like you literally don't even know that shit exists until somebody tells you. Like seriously, bro. Like I went 6 months not even knowing on NVIDIA that you had to get in there and change it from freaking limited to full color. I didn't even know about digital vibrance until I had to find it. Like there's 3 different tabs in NVIDIA control panel that adjust the color. And now you've got the app that has RTX HDR. Oh my gosh. Then you got to get in there and you got to turn off Windows. Like dude, there's so many damn steps. It's pointless. It's freaking stupid. If you're coming from PlayStation 5 Pro or Xbox Series X to PC, get an AMD card. Like seriously, man, that NVIDIA shit drives you nuts. Like it's so dumb. It's and not to mention that like there's a lot of games, guys. You always hear the NVIDIA guys over there freaking out because every game is unoptimized when it comes out. I would say it's probably like. I would probably say it's like 60 to 80%. Like 60% probably on NVIDIA that I experience like games that are messed up 40% of the time. You know, they'll come out and they're stuttery or whatever. And then with AMD, it's like 20%. It's like 20%. Like every now and then you'll get like an ARC or Spider-Man 2 or something like that that's just not feeling very well when you first get it. Then you wait a couple of weeks and then boom, it plays just fine. But yeah, dude, this is crazy. This whole AMD is trash and AMD needs to lower their prices. NVIDIA's better and NVIDIA would never hurt me. Oh, man, and you guys say I'm the fanboy. You say I'm the fanboy. But like I said, like I challenged you, go to any other channel that got one of them free 5090s or free 5080s. And every single one of them are making a content video about those cards every single day. And that's not by accident. That's by design. That is by design. NVIDIA gives them those cards and they make content on it. Now, NVIDIA probably doesn't have to be like, okay, I need you to make this content every single day. No, they already know that these dudes are starved for content. They know it's a hot button item, so they're going to clickbait the crap out of these cards. Why wouldn't they? Why? I mean, seriously, if NVIDIA gave me a 5090, like I said, if I was a careless, callous person, I didn't give a shit, and all I care about was the clicks, you bet your bottom dollar I'd be making content about it every single day. I'd be rubbing that shit in your face. I'd be making you Jones. I'd be like, yeah, man, this is a 5090, man. Whoa, look at what this can do. All of them dudes are so far out of touch because they have the top of the line card. None of them even know what to game. I bet none of them could even bring themselves to game on a 4070 Super anymore and still enjoy that experience. They would be so disgusted. They'd be like, oh gosh, yeah, you know what I mean? Like every single one of them that sit here and test it out. I mean, seriously, how often do they go out of their way? Now this will answer the question for you 100%. Every single one of them got 5090s, 5080s. Every single one of them are covering and making content below all the time, right? How often do they do that for an AMD card? They get the card, they'll do the initial video, but when do they pull them cards back out to make another video about them cards unless it's something bad, you know, like, oh my gosh, dude, the vapor chamber on the 7900 XTX, boom, you got another video out of that. But other than that, the only time you ever see AMD on their channels is in them little damn bar graphs. But you see them 5080s sitting on the table all the time, man. All the time. 5090s, 4090s. They're always sitting on the table. They're always talking about them. They're always fondling them and handling them and flipping them around and, you know, appeasing their masters over at MSI and Asus and everywhere else, showing you off those cards. It's marketing, bro. It's 100% marketing, and that is exactly what that's why they get free GPUs. I mean, seriously, that's why they get free GPUs. But you don't see them doing that with AMD. Why? Because they're biased. They don't give a shit about AMD. They don't give a shit about AMD, but AMD is kind of obligated to send them GPUs because NVIDIA sends them GPUs. So now AMD is like, well, if we don't send them GPUs, then they're gonna badger us and tell us that, you know what I mean? So yeah, before you guys just go running off, spouting all that stupid shit, and then every single one of them, they don't even test FSR on AMD cards. They test them on NVIDIA cards. I turned on FSR. I'm not even joking, dude. Just yesterday, sitting here on Cyberpunk 2077, my friends, I turn on FSR on there and I'm like, holy shit, that looks atrocious. That's terrible. It's super fuzzy. It's like all over the place. I was like, wow, this is not very good. And then I turn it on the AMD card and I'm like, wow, this looks insanely good. Like, how, You know, so I don't, you guys tell me that I'm biased and I'm unfair. Well, then why aren't you guys over there telling these people that? No, instead you guys just come here and spout the same shit that they say every time. I remember when Daniel Owens used to talk highly of AMD. Now every single video he makes, he's always trashing FSR. And I'm like, dude, it's not even that big of a deal. Like, seriously, I could literally play the same games that he's trashing, and I can look at him and be like, dude, that shit doesn't even bug me. Like, it literally doesn't even bug me. I ran through the whole game of Alan Wake 2 on an AMD 7900 XT at 4K using FSR, and guess what? Oh my gosh, it looked fabulous. It was an incredible game. It was my game of the year for 2023. It looked fantastic. Now, I don't go out of my way to try to use FSR all the time, but actually, you know what? That's a lie. Lately, I have been utilizing, since I got PS5 Pro, I've been playing a lot more on 4K, and I've been using the AMD 7900 XTX. I've been using FSR when I need it, and man, I'm actually quite impressed with the way the FSR looks. It does what it says it's going to do. It increases your frame rate while upscaling your image to make it look good on a 4K screen, and it looks good. So it's mission accomplished. Without having to train AI or anything like that, it's mission accomplished. Sometimes it can look a little bit fuzzier, okay? But dude, you're trying to play a 4K game with a GPU that can't play 4K. Like, you're trying to utilize a tool that isn't really cut out for the job, but there's a hack that you can use to get the job done. That's what you're doing. It's like you're adding duct tape to try to give you the extra little bit of freaking length or whatever you need on that ratchet while you're trying to, you're taping something onto it. You know what I mean? It's not really the same thing, but it's close enough. It works and it helps. That's what you're doing. Like, you're basically trying to utilize something that is not cut out for what you're trying to do, and you're using an extra tool to give you the edge to do that. FSR does the job. It does what it needs to do. Is DLSS better? Sure, it does a better job at cleaning up the image quality. Okay, and I've always said that. Like, there's nothing to hide there. Like, I mean, it's true. It does do a better job, but not to the point where it's perfect. I mean, I could literally go through any DLSS game and point out every single flaw, just like everybody points out every single flaw for AMD. No problem. No problem. I mean, are they perfect? No, neither one of them are. But to outright say one of them is just trash when it absolutely does what it needs to do, and I would say 95% of the time FSR looks good enough to where it's like, yeah, there might be some stuff that you'll be playing and you'll notice, you'll be like, ugh, but it's not as frequent as these guys would like you to believe, man. It's just not that bad. So yeah, before you guys come point fingers at me and tell me that I'm a shill or that I'm an AMD fanboy, like, check yourself at the door, man, and be like realize that, like, dude, at least I'm man enough to put my money where my mouth is and buy both experiences and give them both a try and then give you honest feedback on that, while you're unwilling or unable, or you simply just can't afford to do that, but then you come here and you talk to me like you can. That's the difference between you and me. That's why I laugh at you guys sometimes, man. I'm just like, damn, bro, you're gonna come at me like that, and you don't even have the balls to, like, see for yourself, dude. Really? You're gonna go over there and listen to some freaking dude that gets free 5090s tell you how to feel, and then you're gonna come and insult me and try to talk down to me? Oh man, get out of here with that shit, bro. That's some little girl shit, man. That's some little girl shit, bro. And yeah, at least put your money where your mouth is, bro, if you're gonna challenge me. So yeah, I like AMD. I think it's awesome. I think that you get a good deal for it. I think that most gamers would be much happier with an AMD GPU, especially at the price points that NVIDIA is weakest at. All of NVIDIA's lower end cards are pretty weak. Like, AMD can easily challenge those and absolutely deliver a better experience for you. Whereas NVIDIA's top end cards, they are strong, but I kind of feel like they're more designed toward the AI thing now, so they don't necessarily benefit gamers as much, especially at the cost that they want for them. But if you've got deep pockets and you're part of the 1%, yeah, dude, go ahead, get it. I mean, yeah, if you can afford a 5090, 4090, buy one, man. But I always just thought those cards were reserved for the shills, bro. The shills get the free cards so that they can make you want to buy the low-end cards, because that's what happens. You like your best good favorite YouTuber, he's using NVIDIA, you like NVIDIA, you buy the best NVIDIA cards you can afford, which is usually the worst freaking cards on the market. And that sucks. So yes, I've put my money where my mouth is. I've tried them all. Yeah. So all right, guys, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one when I come back with another AMD shill video. See you guys later. Bye.
I have something for you, Henry. Ma had trouble because of you, but I know you didn't do it on purpose, and you protected her when she needed it. I want to thank you for that. Take this potion. It will help when you're in danger or don't know which way to turn. Have a little sip each time, and it'll save you a lot of trouble. You'll see. It's not all that hard to brew. With a bit of practice, you could manage it yourself.
Thanks, Pavlana. This'll come in handy.
No doubt. But we'd better get going now.
Hans is right. We're very glad we met you. And we're obliged to you for your help and hospitality. God bless you.
And you too, sirs.